In real estate, a newbie, but the experience that you brought or have really understood the sector in this short while, it's in a way good. You didn't come with any burden, any background, and you could think with fresh ideas. You didn't have any baggage to say, and therefore I would say that you probably had a great start to getting into real estate. So tell me, when you interact with buyers, and the good part is that you are in different segments of the market, tier 1 and tier 2 cities, and going down to tier 3 as well, like a Coimbatore, what does the buyer want?
Well, it's simple. The buyer wants value for money. He always wanted that, but today is more demanding. And people are listening to him and people are offering him options. In fact, today it's a musical chair for the developers, what it used to be once upon a time for the buyer. So he's getting value for money. And today it's experiential buying, like my panelist said. He wants to experience something that he's seen others enjoying all their life. So he wants value, he wants design, he wants quality, he wants location, and whatever maximum that you can give. In this changing mindset, as an enterprise, as St. Angelo's VNCT Ventures, we toyed with an idea of coming with a concept where people, instead of buying apartments, let us try to give them villas where they have land ownership. And we started toying this with metro cities on the little bit outskirts, because we realized that in metro cities, the new wannabe buyer wants to buy, but he can't afford it since the ticket sizes are too huge. So they have come up with a model where they live in the metro city on rentals. They take a home on the outskirts because they know anything outskirts of a metro city like Mumbai is not outskirts for more than 5 years. And wherever the local train travels, it is the city limits of Mumbai.
Do they get that? Do they realize it? Because, I mean, that's pretty much taking on from what Tarun said, 5 years. How do you stay relevant for the next 5 years in terms of a product? So you're saying that go in the outskirts, take a punt outside of the city, and those in next 5 years, those will become the hot markets.
Yes, those will be the hot markets, but what's happening is the game is changing. You no more can create a box and sell it to the buyer. You need to create design, you need to create concept, you need to create community living. It should be a gated community, it should be style, it should be value for money, it should be quality.
It should be the moon.
It should be the sun, the moon, the arm, the leg, everything. And they don't want to pay anything. Can you believe this? A new buyer doesn't want to make a down payment. You need to work out the finance schemes for them. You need to give them the best interest rates. You need to give them a moratorium period. You need to give them the gestation period to start their first installment. You need all of that. And only those developers who can match to the expectations of this kind of new buyer mentality will sustain in the market, grow, and move to the next project.
You're saying millennials, I mean, it has to be kept very, very value for money otherwise. Would you agree with it, Rajesh, that there was, at one point of time, there was, you could entice the buyer with an overall value proposition of value for money and better than expected quality. But now, as the market matures and the younger force is coming and becoming your buyer, if not today, in 5 years, you have to really treat real estate as an FMCG product. Every time you launch a product, you need to understand who specifically are you launching it for, and therefore your entire marketing has to be around that.
I absolutely agree to what you say, Manisha, but coming back to the 5-year topic that we are discussing on.
Okay, let's go back to that as well.
I would love to discuss that because it is being misunderstood on the conversation. When a developer says 5 years, he means 5 years for the entire project. Today, RERA has induced every developer to break the project into multiple phases. You have phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, n number of phases. You need to be definite about the overall project that you are committing for. So suppose somebody is committing it for 8 years. And then you are committing every phase which you are taking permissions to sell out for advertising for sales. That might be 2 years down the line or 3 years down the line, and that's how you break up the project. If the developer is good enough, he has got the discretionary powers on himself to make sure whether the common amenities get built in the first phase, second phase, third phase, or fourth phase.
Important.
So the buyer is, otherwise you tell a buyer that you are 5 years away from delivery or 8 years away from delivery, he'll run away. He needs to understand when the overall project is getting over. He gets the choice to make whether he wants to book in the first phase or the second phase or the third phase. If he books in the first phase, he is sure that he is going to get the delivery by the second year. In fact, thanks to RERA, real estate is now being one of the most organized sectors. And you don't need 100 disgruntled customers to nail one developer. You need only that one bullet. You need only that one customer who goes to RERA and you're finished. Because he can open up the whole flaws of your development scheme and RERA will take you to task. So no developer wants to take that chance. And today, the developer, instead of opening the whole project for sales, which he used to do earlier, and he used to get into miscalculated financial outflows because he has sold little in every wing, and now he doesn't have money to construct all of them together. Today, RERA has induced him that he can sell only that wing which is open for sales, which is to be delivered in 2 years. So he's making sure that all the sales happen in the first phase so that he can complete the first phase and then move to the second one. That is point number one. Point number two is, RERA does not permit the developer to withdraw profits till the entire project is over. But RERA allows you to withdraw the profits of the phase that you are committing to be completing in a particular period of time. So as a developer, he can take home his profits at the completion of the first phase when he takes the occupation certificate, delivers the possession, and then takes his profits walks over to the second phase and starts developing that. This also ensures that the developer is in a better financial control to the advantage of the customer, and that is how he is going to be completing the projects. Very few developers have understood this, but the few who have understood it are really playing it right to the advantage of the buyer. So today the buyer, he has got two major complaints in the past 25 years of real estate buying in the new India. One was the quality was pathetic because on the power of location, the buyer used to get crap, but still used to buy because it was location. So he has to assure quality. He has underwritten to the RERA department about the quality standards by the developer. Secondly, today he is sure that what is the end date of delivery. Because once you cross the end date of the delivery, RERA does not give you beyond a years of extension. So the developer has got a very limited time play in his hands. And the buyer is today confident and sleeping well at home that no, I know on which date I will get my delivery. And today, no payment happens to the developer out of turn. There are no lollipop schemes that you make a down payment and you get this price and that price. The builder is supposed to collect the money from the buyer as per the development stages only. So these are all fantastic safety norms which is ensuring that money of the buyer is well protected, and government is doing to the real estate sector what it did by creating SEBI for the stock market sector. So this is an absolutely regulated market, and that's why buying in the last quarter has been the best since demonetization. And the market is bouncing back, new buyers are being created and existing buyers are buying more, as property is the only safety investment asset where you can really leverage financial institutions which have really lowered down the rate of interest and which is going to be tipped to be going lower further. So I think these are fantastic times. And this is what RERA is. So it is not that 5-year, 8-year, 10-year. It is in which year your phase will be delivered.
Okay, that must be some developers, but I have gone onto RERA websites and seen developers giving 5-year dates, even for one phase. So, because they want to play it safe. I'm not saying that they will not deliver earlier, but nobody wants to be on the wrong side of the law. Developers have come openly on the panel discussions and said, we are taking a 5-year date because what is not in our control is approval authority, right? We could get into approvals midway of the project. There could be an NGT case on us because we are killing one bird, or some bird is expected to be, come under threat because of a construction. So that might be a small population like yourself, but that is still a big problem.
I'll give you a way out in that also. I'll tell you about that also. So today in Bombay, when you talk about a high rise, you might not get all the permissions together. So there are developers who sell to the extent of what they've got permissions, and RERA empowers them, the corporation empowers them to take a part OC and hand over the assets, hand over the premises to the buyers.
I hope all the developers are listening to it, but let's come back to the buyers.
They are doing it, and we have done it, and I know so many developers who take part OC in a vertical building. The gentleman here will agree to what I'm saying. They are also done large projects, and this is the pattern of the day. They take part OCs in a vertical building also.
No, I agree on the part OCs and the part handovers. However, in the RERA regime, now, in large projects, the challenges that come are when you expose an entire master plan. So everything, every part, so if your club is eventually going to be just saying 100,000 square feet, now do you do it for the first phase only and hand
so
it
I'll
over?
tell you something. There are developers who also break down the clubhouse and common amenities into the phases that they are creating. They make sure that with the first phase, if the clubhouse is a large one, they develop the first phase of the clubhouse as well, and deliver the amenities as per the development phase of the project.
So what you're saying is that you have to just, within the RERA regime, you have to do better management.
Better management to the safety of the buyer.
Ashish, building a brand is the first and foremost job.
Absolutely. Brand is very critical. But then how do you compete with brands which are 100-year-old? So there are fantastic strategies. You get multiple brands on board and beat them at their game. So they are the Goliaths, we are the Davids. It's easier to beat them because we are too fast to change, too fast to adapt, and we try to create so much value by bringing multiple brands. Like for example, if I want to beat the tall and the mighty, I'll get a Suzanne Khan on board, I'll use Kohler, I'll use Jotun paints, I'll use American shingles, I'll use designer tiles, I'll use so many products of brands together that together it becomes like a Virtu phone. Virtu phone is nothing but a combination of precious materials put together. That's all. So I try to create that and still sell it at a normal price. That's how we beat the bigger players, with a legacy. Because there are some legacies like, if you tell me Tata, even in my sleep, it is reliability, it is safety, it is quality, it is guarantee, all of that. So how do you compete with this kind of brands?
It's very
coming
interesting, yeah.
Coming up with
and
new
Virtus have taken, I mean,
yes,
Zagami has taken the
Absolutely,
biggest of the brands. It's not that you can't break into it,
So
you just have to do it interestingly.
As new players, and we don't consider ourselves as developers, we are entrepreneurs. As entrepreneurs, we are here to make a new model, a new concept and sell it to the market. That's one. Secondly, I would like to talk about a new concept, a new segment which has come up, Manisha. The new segment is there are people who buy the second home concept to use it as a first home. There are so many people who don't want to live in the metro city. They don't need to live in the metro city. There are people who are creative in nature. There are people who use technology for delivering their products and services, who love to get settled in places like Lonavala, Alibag, Karjat, Shapur, Goa, and they operate out of there. They come to the city once in a week or once in 15 days or once in a month. And they are using a second home as a first home. That's a new class. And another new class which is come up is we are always used as Indians where the father and the mother is gifting or the father-in-law and mother-in-law is gifting a house to the son or the son-in-law. Today it's reverse.
Where are they? Why didn't you find me a boy from that community where the in-laws are gifting children?
Today it's the reverse. It is the youngsters who are buyers for the elders. I have come across so many buyers who have bought not for them, who have bought for their parents, for their in-laws, for their brothers, their sisters. So there is a new culture of buying which is happening, and we as developers, entrepreneur developers, are adapting to this new age also. We have come across so many buyers who have bought a second home to use it as a first home. 20% of our buyers are like that. That's one. Secondly, as far as services that Nagu is talking about, it is not only about maintaining and taking the responsibility of maintenance of the project after the project is handed over by the developer, but we help them to source loans, we help, which everybody does, but we also help them to get clients as tenants. We lease out their properties to them. We make sure that the properties which are leased out are also maintained well. We keep giving them reports. So there is a total customer care department which is doing this, which instills more confidence of the buyer in us as a developer company. And what it benefits us is beyond online marketing or digital marketing or jacket advertising, it gives us the powerful word of mouth, which is better than any ad put out in the media.